Okay, welcome. Diving into NFTs, you guys are my new crypto family and friends. So I hope that we all get to meet in person one day. And until then, here we are on Zoom. Your questions truly are valuable. If you're sitting there and thinking of a question, chances are that somebody else is wondering the same thing. Do not be afraid to ask it. There'll be time at the end for Q&A, of course, but please feel free to drop any questions in the chat as we go so that you don't forget those questions, and we will go back through and I will check the chat to answer as many as I can. Good news, you're not too late. I know that everyone feels like they're playing catch up in this space. Our news feeds are filled with headlines about crypto and NFTs and Bored Apes and what's a CryptoPunk and what's happening to Bitcoin and what's Ethereum. Don't worry, you are still so early. If you look at the context of other industries, when you look at bonds, Bitcoin is at 0.3% of the size of the market of bonds. It's at a tenth of the size of so many industries, gold, Apple. You are really at the right time coming in to learn and ask questions about this industry. As much as I love sharing all this information, this is not financial advice. Everything that I'm sharing here is through my own research. I have great mentors, people like Randy Zuckerberg, Swansit, plenty of great resources out there that I have read, connected to, reached out to, and worked with and gone through the experience myself. So please keep doing your research. This is one data point among many. I give a shout out to my brother who first got me into the space 7 years ago. Michael, thank you. He opened, like a creak in the door, and I've stepped through and I can never come out now. And I hope you feel the same way as you learn and get excited about what the future holds here. So what are some of those resources? Where can you do that research? I've got a couple of podcasts. So this is a great slide to screen grab right now. And some great folks over at Team Wavely. I think they're joining us as well, the founder and his team, Matthew. Wavely have graciously offered a discount of 25%. They have an awesome, easy to read, easy to understand daily news feed. They're a great news source as to what's happening in crypto, NFTs, and tech. Highly recommend. It's one of the first news sources I subscribe to, and it just keeps you really on the cusp of what's happening as it's happening. So thank you, Team Wavely. Another screen to grab real quick, people to follow. Just start adding these accounts into your Instagram or Twitter and follow, and you'll start to immerse yourself into the kinds of conversations that are happening. You will see the news, the headlines, you will see who's involved in the space, and you'll start to build your own radar for what is legitimate and what is not. And that kind of personal radar is important because the benefits of what crypto and NFTs can offer you are different to what they could offer somebody else. And of course, female-focused NFTs. There's so much hype and discussion about a lot of male-led NFT projects, and that's great. It is highly imbalanced though right now. So giving some attention to great female projects, of course, because these are doing a lot to move the needle in really supporting people, organizations beyond the artist. A lot of these also have givebacks where when you buy the NFT, you're also supporting some great organizations that support women or other artist communities. More on that very soon. Okay, so today we are going to be covering what is an NFT. If they're so great and we're all talking about them, why haven't we used them sooner? What kinds of NFTs are there? Because yes, there are more than one kind. And how will we actually use them? And then some audience requests from last time to go a little deeper on a few NFT projects. What are some scams and what are legitimate projects to follow and maybe even invest in yourself? Let's start with the first thing. What is an NFT? It's a non-fungible token. Oh, just a reminder to mute your screens. Okay, non-fungible token. There, that's the definition. Everyone understands that, right? Yeah, I know. Nobody knows what fungible is. Until this year, no one had said the word fungible, I think. So let's talk about that. Fungible. Here's a tangible example. Before we talk about tokens, a tangible example of fungible. I gave my daughter two 50-cent Australian coins. She can keep one for herself and she can give one to her brother. It doesn't matter which one she gives to her brother and which one she keeps. They are fungible. They are completely exchangeable. They have the same value. If they get mixed up, it doesn't matter who takes which one. Non-fungible is different. I have 2 eggs. They are 2 eggs, but they are non-fungible. One is an actual egg that you can crack and cook, and the other is a gold paperweight egg. So you can see inherently the difference here. They're both eggs, but they both hold a different value for different reasons. If I'm hungry, that paperweight is not helping me. If I have a huge stack of papers and I put the cracked egg on there, also not helping me. So again, NFTs hold different value to different people at different times. Those are tangible, non-fungible, and fungible examples. We're talking about NFTs though being tokens. So those are digital assets, non-fungible digital assets, tokens. Those tokens, you can't touch them, but they unlock a ton of benefits to the owner. You've seen in art, of course, it gives you the digital version of a picture. It could also hold other assets like music, never heard before clips from the Beatles. It could do videos, so never seen before clips from a Quentin Tarantino film. Gaming assets. Your kids probably already are NFT owners. If they're playing Fortnite, chances are they've purchased a skin. That skin is an NFT. They're the only one who can use it. AR filters. An NFT can unlock AR filters that you can use across social media. Secret codes. There are sports teams that hide secret codes inside their NFT, so only the true owner can access that code, and it might turn out to be the code to a plane ticket to go and see that game. Or I've heard of examples where it's the code to type into a keypad on the owner's corporate box for the stadium to go watch a game. It can give you access to parties and, of course, brand collaborations. There have been a number of luxury brands that have done special collabs that you can only purchase if you hold a certain NFT from a certain collection. So NFTs, they sound pretty cool. Why haven't they been a thing before? They couldn't exist in e-commerce. They can only exist in blockchain. Cool. But wait, what is blockchain? The world's quickest history lesson. It was created in 1991 by 2 people, Stuart Haber and W. Scott Stornetta. They wanted a pure and honest technology platform. They wanted a system that would timestamp every input of data and information so that it could never be altered in any way. They wanted truth in technology. So what does that actually mean? Well, blockchain is a digital ledger, and the best, easiest way I've figured out to describe it is it's like a long receipt. And this long receipt records every single action that is put onto the blockchain. And once that is put onto this long ledger, the receipt, it can never be changed. But how is that made? It's made by a decentralized network. So there are 3 things I'm going to take you through. The first one is decentralized. It's not built on a company server. E-commerce and Web 2 were built on servers where the company built pages, those pages lived on a server, the company decided what rules the user and the company could exchange in. You could shop products, you could chat, you could connect. The company server held that information and allowed those rules to take shape. In a decentralized network, it's all these computers, all this hardware being operated by people who are working together. So no one server or person owns blockchain. It requires constant verification and voting from all of these nodes, networks of people, to agree and verify information. By decentralizing everything and having that agreement, everyone is very transparent. You can't hide anything in blockchain. You see every action, you see if it's being verified and when. And that's really cool if you think about that in examples that might affect us today, like fashion. In fashion, we have to believe when a company tells us that that running shoe is made out of recycled bottle caps. We have to believe the origin story of how a certain product was made and that it is organic or sustainable. But when you have true transparency that blockchain offers, the consumers will be able to see exactly every single piece that went into making any product. That story of origin, from design idea to manufacture to delivery on your doorstep, is completely transparent. And so those companies who have been greenwashing all this time will no longer be able to hide that. That's a win for those companies who've been doing the right thing. And if they have that great product provenance story, product provenance is a fancy term for where something came from, they'll be able to really show with excitement and be rewarded for their manufacturing story. And it's immutable. Blockchain can't be changed. It can't be altered, deleted, edited. Once it is in the blockchain, it is there forever. And those three pillars what make blockchain what it is and make NFTs what they can do for us today. So what can NFTs do for us? Well, they prove ownership. We've just shown that you can't change it, delete it, or alter it. It's completely transparent. So think about now that authenticity to show that you own something, whether it's a property, a product, your own health information, of course, art and music. There's so much that can be really transformed by proof of ownership with an NFT. What about where you went? That's called a POAP NFT, a proof of attendance. Now, that's of course great if you go to events like South by Southwest or you're going to a really cool conference. Think about how game-changing that is for travel, visas, which countries you've been to, when and where. Also your education credentials. You know, we can really see now when you go into your doctor's office or into a class at your university, what are the credentials of the person you're about to hear from? Your work experience, your resume. All of those things can really be fine-tuned with greater authenticity and speed because of NFTs. And of course, your kids, they're using it. It's on, you know, Roblox, Fortnite. Those digital dollars that as parents we're seeing disappear from our wallets are going into digital assets that they're putting on their avatar as they game. This I find to be the most interesting, and that's the one you're seeing across social media and your news feeds now, which is how NFTs are proving social clout. Some of the most valuable NFTs are known as PFPs. That's a picture for proof. And you may have seen some people replace their headshot in social media or LinkedIn with an NFT. It's really showing the clout they have as an owner of a certain membership NFT. Some of the big ones, these are they're kind of known now as blue chip NFTs, Pudgy Penguins, CryptoPunk, VFriends, Cool Cats. They're very expensive to get into now. They've been around for a little while. They've got a lot of high profile NFT owners. And because of that, people like the social clout of being associated as a fellow holder as a CryptoPunk or a VFriend. So bottom line, you are going to be judged by your NFT wallet and others, and you'll judge others for theirs as well. It's already happening. I mean, as humans, we've been judging people our whole lives. It's how we're wired to think. We've had the IT designer handbags. We've had the cool drop of Nike sneakers. It really says something about the person when you see those iconic products on them. Well, now this is just the digital version of that. And as such, it's really telling when you dive in and listen to more podcasts and see what big brands are doing and you see what the consumer appetite is for these NFTs. NFTs are really changing the social structures. In fact, it's going to create the greatest divide in how we become, assess, and judge the elite, those who live so-called luxurious lifestyles. And if you still don't believe me, talk to anyone who went to Miami Art Basel, because nothing could have been more true than the divide of those who had NFTs and had access to the art, to the parties, to the network of people than those who didn't have NFTs. These are the two biggest ones we see in the news. These are $1 million NFTs. They are also PFPs, so you're seeing them in people's profile pictures. It's a very elite, luxurious club membership to be a part of. You get a lot of benefits. You're invited to incredible events, but then you're also perceived as someone to have that kind of clout, legendary NFT status. But what's that you're all thinking? You don't have just $10 million to throw at your first NFT? Oh, good, because neither do I. Don't worry, there are some others. This one, Banksy. It originally sold as an actual piece of artwork for almost $13 million. Thank you, Wavely, because you guys actually were one of the first ones to break the story. An auction house is cutting this, not actually, but is digitally cutting this into 10,000 pieces. And so those 10,000 pieces will be issued as NFTs, and they'll be auctioned off in January next year for $1,500. Really exciting if you happen to get a flower. Maybe not so exciting if you get some of the white space. I'm not sure. But it is a way that people will have authenticated ownership of a Banksy original. And of course, to have the first one as an NFT gives it even more notoriety. But $1,500 is still a lot too. Maybe you're not ready to go there for your first NFT purchase. Don't worry, I got you. Here are some amazing NFT projects. And what do you know? They all happen to be female-focused NFTs. A lot of these are rising the ranks. World of Women on the top right. You guys always know that I talk about them. They are going to be a blue chip NFT. They are getting the notoriety of Reese Witherspoon, Gary Vaynerchuk. Coinbase has partnered with them. So by having those industry experts and industry platforms align and promote, you can see that there's a real future and there's something very stable about that kind of NFT project. The artist launched these NFTs in August. They sold out very quickly. She was an unknown artist to many, so still emerging, but she is very much a rising star in the digital world now. Women Rise, Crypto Chicks, and NFT Women and Weapons all had a presence in Miami Art Basel and had either minting events where they launched and minted their first NFTs during Miami Art Basel, or did so just beforehand and held events. They have also quickly gained a lot of popularity. Their prices are also rising, but you can still get some for a few $100s. The second line here, Encryptors and Cypher Chic, they are actually the same artist, but doing two different NFT projects. A lot of these have give back components too. So the mission is really helping to support other female organizations. One to definitely note is the Nyla Collection. This is a collection of NFTs that has been praised by Time magazine, by a number of art critics. It has been done by a 12-year-old girl, and she launched her collection just a few months ago, and she has driven over $4 million in her NFTs. So really great to see how this even playing field of the digital space can drive unknown artists forward in a way that they would never have been able to before. A couple others on the bottom row here. Broke Girls NFT. I believe we have the artist team on the call with us. They're calling in from Africa. I've been following them for a couple of months now. A really small collection, 101 NFTs. And I think like anything, it's great to get to know the team behind it. I've been really grateful that every time I've reached out, they have responded, which by the way, is step number one in wanting to figure out what is legitimate and what is not. An NFT project whose founders are transparent, communicate frequently, and are unafraid to make themselves known to the community in building that community. Fame Ladies, we're going to dive into this one in a little bit, so I'll hold on that. Cool Lady Club and Rebel Society. They are two others that are just hitting the market. I had a call over the weekend with Frida, the artist from Rebel Society. And in hearing her story, I think it's a very unfortunate but common one where she's a successful artist. She has a great company and brand called Mini Learners on Instagram, where she's an illustrator for children's goods. Unfortunately, every time she launches a collection, she shared that H&M and Next completely steal and rip off her designs. And so that is a really tough way to make your living when you're constantly being taken advantage of in that way. So NFTs are opening a world for her where that transparency and authentication of her art is now protected as an IP. And so launching her NFT collection is a new path forward for someone as talented as Frida and all these designers, all these artists, frankly. All right, so quick little pause here. I'm going to ask you guys if you've got access to your chat. In 2021, total NFT sales have reached what? How many million or how many billion do you think we have driven in NFT sales this year. Can you get that into the chat? I may have to stop sharing my screen to read the chat. Or Rick, can you see chat there?
Yes, I can. We have one guess so far, 27 billion, 12 billion.
Okay. Any other guesses?
2 billion, 15 billion.
All right, well, I like that you guys are all thinking in the billions. I mean, it's smart. We've had, considering some NFTs have gone for tens of millions, it quickly hit the billions. Mm-hmm. All right, so without further ado, so far this year, it has hit 27 billion. Wow. That is just in NFTs, digital assets that don't actually exist in the world. Truly extraordinary. I mean, you go back to that one of those early slides I showed you where we're so early in the space, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, we're talking about. This is a teeny scratch on a scratch of the surface for where we are all headed when it comes to crypto and NFTs. All right, so let's dive in. Let's get into the good stuff. Scams. Oh dear. Rug pull versus shady. There's two kinds here. So Pickle Punks was a rug pull, and Fame Lady Squad. It was a shady project, but it had a twist. Let's dive into Pickle Punks first. Okay, so my brother and I actually came across Pickle Punks a little while ago, and we saw that they were having this public sale on December 1st. They were going to launch just under a 9,999 NFTs. Not uncommon. We see a lot of NFTs launching with the same kind of PFP strategy. We see very quickly they're driving all this hype. But we see it's very gimmick-led. You can see here from their Instagram, it's all this, minting is live. Today, if we'd scrolled down further, you would have seen that there was about a week's worth of giveaways. Somehow they were going to give away all this money. If you're the X number of people to mint a pickle, you're going to get $20,000 and you're going to get $30,000. And it just felt kind of too good to be true. So we just decided, let's just watch this. Let's see what happens. The founders are nowhere to be found. We can't see any real names for them. There doesn't seem to be any history. It's not making sense to us why there's all this attention and yet nothing really sticking as part of a foundation. There's no outlook for a cause or mission they might be connected to. Instead, they shared their roadmap, which is very common. The roadmap is what NFT projects put out in advance to tell you about themselves and how they're going to benefit the holders of their NFTs. And as you read this, it just looked like they were saying a lot without saying anything. And this is really common in these rug pulls. We're gonna do all these events you wanna go to. We're gonna have guest speakers you wanna meet. We're gonna have benefits you'll wanna buy. We're gonna have merchandise you'll wanna collect. But what does any of that mean? Well, to no one's surprise, it was a total rug pull, and they launched on the day. You can see here just behind this roadmap, they launched 1,200 items. They had a volume of 28.5 ETH traded, and 845 people purchased their NFTs before they pulled the rug. So these guys made off with about 130,000 US dollars and have never been heard from since. Really unfortunate for all those owners who were scammed in a rug pull. So rug pull is when they literally disappear. Their Discord is abandoned, their Instagram is abandoned. All you see now are just a lot of angry comments and people frustrated that they can't get a response or get their ETH back. A shady one though is a little bit different. Fame Lady Squad, they came out this year and they gave some story about how they were going to really benefit women, that we are here to represent women who have been unrepresented before. So the mission felt really good. It felt like something people could get behind and connect to. And here's the team, a fun play with their own PFP, and they launched. But something wasn't quite right. And one NFT holder did a little digging, and they came to realize that while it wasn't a rug pull and it wasn't a scam, it definitely wasn't female-led. And that shadiness is what really upset the NFT holders. They were buying into a perceived women-led for women project here. And so that made people pretty angry. There's a lot of news about it. The Fame Lady Squad scam turned out to be run by 3 men. But there's a happy ending to this, because the NFT holders got a hold of the owners, and the owners actually responded back and confessed. And you can see here, OX Zeus says that he is sorry for the lie. Ended up getting pulled along with it, and then because it was doing well, no one knew how to stop it. So the NFT owners took back the project, and I'm happy to report they relaunched the project. The original 3 men gave ownership of the entire NFT campaign to Ashley Smith, and it is now being run by its members. So it's great to see that not everything that is shady is a scam, but not everything that is female-led and has a good cause is legit. So it always pays in these early days to dig as much as you can, follow those breadcrumbs, and ask yourself, is it a mission that I want to be a part of? Is it artwork that I like? Can I find a real person behind this? So an example of a real person behind a campaign, Women Rise NFT, they launched in December. They're minting now, very clear with their commitment and their roadmap. They're not just using a lot of fluff in how they describe their mission. There's actual examples of how the money is being spent and where it is going to. There's an email of how you can contact them. And of course, in their Instagram, you can see the artwork is by Maliha Z Art. So when you follow those breadcrumbs, you can see that Maliha is an actual person who has an actual following. And it's really good to see who else is following these people as well. Are there people in your network? Are there sources that you trust who are following them? Just to constantly cross-reference that legitimacy. One that I just discovered about 8 hours ago, and so I quickly added the slide in, is Alpha Girl Club NFT. I think it's a really fresh take. Both the artwork I think is super cool, but also the mission. A lot of these NFTs are giving back to existing female organizations. This one is building a mental health app. I think that there's a really ambitious team behind it. So I investigated who is the team. Good news. It's actually people. It's a person. Charles Coe is the founder, and he has a legitimate LinkedIn profile, and his LinkedIn profile has connections to my network also. Keep digging, keep going through, look at the companies that they're working for, see who their team are. He made it very clear on his own Instagram as well that his illustrator is somebody over here and he has a team over there. I followed those breadcrumbs. I could find all of these real people. So in sharing Alpha Girl Club NFT, I felt more confident in being able to tell you that there are real people behind this. Basically, I can't vouch for any other criteria other than just to keep doing your research and that I have found this. Somebody asked to look at this one, the Billionaire Zombies Club. So what I saw in their feed were a lot of what I would say warning signs. That it's a lot of hype driven marketing. It's a lot of giveaways, not a lot of strength to the foundation of why they exist. Ask yourself, why are they here? And right now it's a lot of just giveaways, very thinly, shallowly created marketing headlines. You can see here in the Twitter, it's not followed by anyone I'm following. Not that I'm the judge and I have all the right accounts to follow, but when you go back to that list I showed you earlier and you start following those legitimate accounts, if any of those are not following a project, that's also a bit of a warning sign just to keep in consideration. By comparison, I've done here the Zombies Club versus World of Women. You can see that no one I know follows the Zombies Club. Of course, 58 people follow World of Women because I am a woman and I have a lot of like-minded friends and connections who probably like this project as well. So I went through and looked at who the people are that are following World of Women. Legitimate exchanges and marketplaces and businesses and news sources are following World of Women. None of them are following the Billionaire Zombies Club. So just to recap, again, screen grab this. How do you assess an NFT project before you make the purchase? Make sure they are engaged across multiple social channels: Twitter, Instagram, Discord. Make sure they have a website. Check and see if there's been any mentions of them from other news feeds as well. Baseline: is it a community that you personally want to connect with? Is it artwork that you want to show, want to have, that represents who you are? Do you want to be associated with the other members? When you go into Discord, you can tell very quickly the kinds of personality they're creating. Is that a mindset that reflects who you are as well? If it's not going to be successful for you regardless. And if it is, then that's great, because more people like you are a part of this, wanting it to succeed, and they will make that happen. Are there actual real world benefits? Are there any collaborations coming up? Are there events? Is there a networking or community moment that you can be a part of that you will gain real world value to? Life in the digital space and the metaverse is going to be great, but only if it connects to your real world too. So don't do it at the expense of shutting off real world benefits. And really fine tune your radar and constantly ask yourself, am I getting caught up in hype, or am I creating a real connection to this? I'm going to pause here and say thank you. I said thank me because I was reading Wag Me. Thank you for taking the step and running at this. I know it's new. There's a lot of new phrases and words that we haven't said before, and that all of a sudden everyone is saying it. One of them is Wag Me. Hashtag Wag Me. What does that mean? It stands for "we all gonna make it." It was a hashtag that has come out of the NFT and crypto community, and it's almost like waving a flag of camaraderie. If you see this hashtag, you know that that person is open-minded to create community and connection. The chances are they want to be a part of the movement that helps bring in unrepresented minorities in the space, women, people of color, independent artists. That is the war cry for the outsiders, rallying together and uniting to help, share, and educate one another. So I will pause here and remind you that you can email me anytime, you can DM me anytime. Make sure you always wag me in your posts. We can find each other and create an NFT community. I'm going to stop sharing and we'll go through and check some of the questions. Oh, it's not going to let me share. Feel free to unmute if you have a question. Rick, if you can see the comments, please read. You can read some out.
Sure thing. Yeah, first of all, Mara Jean and Grace guessed correctly on the 27 billion, or at least maybe they knew it. So good job there. And then KJ did mention that they forgot to send the NFT group to check out the NFT Faceless Hot Couture. So maybe that's something we can do a little research on and get back to on the next meeting.
Okay.
I don't think I've heard of it personally, but that doesn't mean anything. And yeah, I think that's all the questions that are in the chat, unless I missed one. But if anyone has one now, feel free to unmute and ask it, or drop it in the chat.
Hey, Michelle, this is Tara. Thanks again for another great webinar. A question that I have, and I think it just comes from like my personal perspective, is like, I'm not a gamer. The people I hang out with aren't really gamers. And so I think one of the struggles that I have with thinking about NFTs as it pertains to artwork specifically is just like, are people really going to want like live like this? Like, are individuals going to want to like buy a skin or something to wear as an avatar to go exist in the metaverse? And like, how much time do people really spend living sort of in that world versus the quote unquote real world, I suppose? Like, I just don't have that perspective. So it's sort of hard for me to understand the size of the opportunity here.
I think a great, easy first answer is we live where we work. More and more people are going to be are working in the metaverse. And so those communities will grow organically. There are companies who are now selling virtual billboards and virtual ad space in these virtual metaverses. And so avatars are becoming a place for people not only just to escape and game, but they're actually working there too. So your life there requires things that you like from the real world: art, furniture, fashion, and friendships. And how you'll find friends will be how what you can see in their NFT wallets, what you can see in their virtual homes and spaces. It's already happening. It just hasn't reached outside probably the gaming set or the early adopter and investor set yet, but it will. And actually, my brother and I were just having this deep discussion, kind of mind bending a little bit yesterday, that think about us when we're 118. At this rate, at this pace, it feels like we'll all live, well over 100. Our minds will be sharp. Maybe our bodies won't be. The metaverse will be a very popular place to engage, and as our world continues to become more global and our family members live further away, what better place than to reconnect in somewhere like the metaverse?
That's an interesting way to think about it, especially as we age. Yeah, I guess a bunch of like old chicks will just be rocking like cool avatars in the metaverse or something.
No, I worried that maybe the purchase date, when someone can see how long ago I've bought the NFTs,
guess how
it's
old
really
you are.
going to age me. I wonder if my 20-year-old friend when I'm 120 is going to want to hang out with me anymore. I'm curious, would anyone like to share if they've purchased an NFT recently, and if so, which one?
Yeah. So I bought a few. I bought, I think I mentioned this last time too. I bought 3 of the Matrix, the new movie avatars through, oh man, let me look at my phone. Forgot the name of it already. Nifty, I think it was. So Nifty was doing, I think they were selling about 10,000 of them or a little over.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily when I jumped on, I got in the 4,000th spot where there was about 100,000 people in line waiting to buy one. And at first they had a 25 NFT cap, so you could only buy 25 at a time. But because there was so much demand for it, they actually cut it down to 5, which was actually really nice, because generally you don't want to go against your own practices. But it was really good. The price is actually decent too. I mean, I didn't go overboard. Like some of these NFTs have a mint cap, and that's one thing too I would like to talk about, is the mint caps for some of these NFTs are starting at $400, and that's before any gas fees or anything like that. So I hate to say, but even if you're doing fairly well financially, it's tough to be jumping into something where you can easily spend $1,000 in one fall swoop for an NFT or 2 NFTs, even the ones that are just releasing. And if it's hype or not hype, it can be a real mind bender. And Discord as well. I know we mentioned that last time, but Discord is a very interesting space. I know you mentioned last time that there's a lot of negativity in there. It can be a little toxic. It's really hard to get through so many of these rooms and people and different launches and things like that. So just to really focus on 1 or 2 things that you really want. I did also buy a crypto coven for Maz, my wife. They actually just sold out. They had really released, I think it was 9,999 of them. They just sold out. It's a really good group of women who put this together. It's beautiful art. It's really, really cool environment and community. I don't know how much resale value or anything like that will have, but I mean, for me, it was more of the community and getting Maz involved into something that is, all female and positive, and to have that kind of atmosphere. So there's some really cool things like that. And for me, there's some things I'm looking at for investments too. Like, what can I buy now that I might be able to flip in 6 months or 12 months? I spend $300 on an NFT. Can I flip it for $1,200 in a month or 2?
So, okay, these are all great questions. I took notes. I'm going to answer them in a few different. No, you're good. I'm going to answer them in a few different ways, a few different orders. Sorry. Firstly, Discord. So Discord is scary as hell. I know it. And when you first go in there, you've heard so many things about. There's a lot of scammers there. There can be some toxic culture in certain channels. We decided, I spoke to my team, Rick, Val, and Andrea, who I think are all on this. We're going to start a Discord to help you understand how to use Discord. So we're going to email that out, if not this week, next week, with a link that you can all get in. And it's a really safe space where pretty much only you guys will know. And we're going to hold your hand through how to engage, what the channels mean, and really be a friend to you in a scary Discord world. Second of all, minting. Minting is different for so many projects. As you said, often to mint, so just to go back for everyone, minting is, projects can do one of two things. They can mint everything themselves and then launch it into OpenSea and you can purchase it, or they can make it a public minting event and then you can go in and mint them yourself. When you mint an NFT, you become one of the original owners. So the extra benefit to that is you will always receive a royalty from the sale of that minted NFT in perpetuity. So when you have a public minting event, like something, let's use CryptoPunks as an example, if you got some of the really rare ones, it doesn't matter if you hold it or sell it, you're constantly getting a 5 to 10% royalty every single time that it's moved on. So the original owner of one that sold recently for 10 million, he or she just made $1 million doing nothing, but they minted it a few years ago, and good foresight for them. Minting requires a little more practice. I think we should do a session just on minting if you're interested, because it requires syncing up your wallet. There's a lot of new first-time steps that honestly are stress-inducing, gray hair causing, heart attack. We'll do it together so that you won't feel so scared and alone, like I know I have felt that way. So don't worry. And then buy now and flip. All right, just last night, this very thing happened to me on Alpha Girl Club. I thought I was like, yes, I found it. I saw that somebody had just minted an NFT and it had two very rare properties. It had a property that was 0.24% and one that was 0.58%. That's basically like striking gold to have an NFT with two less than 1% rare qualities. And this person had it listed at 0.05 ETH, which is like $180. That's a bargain, because everything right now is going for a few hundred, and I can see some people are already reselling these NFTs for $1,000. So to get in for a double rare one for under $200, I'm like, yes. And I'm like going for it. I'm trying to get it through, and then I click to buy, and it just kind of like initializing. I was like, no. And I'm doing the old like Wi-Fi. What's going on? And that is a trick with crypto. It can be slow. It's got nothing to do with your Wi-Fi sometimes. It's just the blockchain. It's busy. People are minting it. Turns out it was initializing because somebody else had beat me to it by probably 10 or 12 seconds. And then they swiftly listed it for 4 times the price. So well done to them. I did see this morning that somebody had then purchased it from them for 4 times the price. So that person made a lovely profit of, call it $600 in a few hours. You definitely can buy and flip. I'd say this, it's the 1% that are going to become the $10 million NFTs. And our job is just to do our research so that we don't get stuck holding too many of the 99%. You're not going to get them all right. That's why I go back to the communities that you want to be a part of, the artwork that you like, things that you would be proud to associate to, because then you never lose. I think like it's still an art investment. So when you buy something to put in your home, it's the same philosophy as buying an NFT. Would you still want to have it? And if the answer is yes, go for it. And always make sure it's in your budget. I will never advocate for you guys to purchase anything as a risk because you think it's going to pay off and you spend more than you can afford. Don't do that. That's a slippery slide to fall down into. There's plenty of opportunities out there so that you don't have to go that path. I have a couple of questions here. More about Discord. Yes, Mickey, I got you. We'll get that Discord going. How does the royalty work? Yes, because when you mint an NFT, you've minted it to your wallet address. And so it's forever tied as a part of that NFT. And any of the royalties will automatically and always go back into your wallet.
Clarifying one on that, if you don't mind,
yeah.
Michelle. Is it only for the original purchaser, like the minter, or is it whoever is the current holder of that NFT gets the royalty at the time?
The original
I guess that wouldn't
minter.
make any sense. If you held it but you sold it, you wouldn't get the transaction fee. Never mind.
It's all good. It's all good. Yes, the original minter. Shama, yes. Okay, everyone, this is a great article that she just posted in the chat. Nike just purchased a virtual startup. They were doing virtual sneakers, all one-of-a-kind sneakers, and brilliant move because now they'll be providing physical product to that. Of course, I would be remiss not to mention that I'm very proud of our team. I'm not sure how many of you are following me and see what we're working on, but we are relaunching our company, The Accessory Junkie, as a global fashion and NFT marketplace. We totally agree with Nike. Attaching digital assets to actual fashion is a really big future. Okay, great question by Mara. So limited edition NFTs where it's a multiple of the same thing. So 1 of 10 or 1 of 1,000. I would stay away from that. Again, if it's something that you just love because you want it, the problem when you're buying one of multiples is the value is only as great as what the lowest seller, the seller who's willing to sell it for the lowest will bear. So if all 10 of you want to sell it, or sorry, all 9 of you want to sell it for 10 ETH, but one person wants to sell it for 1 ETH, it doesn't matter what you want to sell it for. That person's showing the minimal amount that it's valued at. And so you're kind of stuck with acting as a group. I don't know if I explained that very well, but hopefully it made sense. Yes, DressX is doing something really cool. I'll also drop in the chat dematerialized. Oh. Dematerialized. They are doing some really cool NFTs for virtual fashion that you can wear. Oh, Michael, good question. Should we buy 5 cheaper NFTs or buy something that is already established and pay more for one? There's no right answer to that, unfortunately. Both could be winning strategies depending on what your desired outcome is. If it's for investment, yes, you could argue that one blue chip is safer, but 5 cheaper ones may have a bigger, steeper rise because they have more value to gain. If it's for community building, being a part of 5 different communities may be more interesting in your real life. Buying multiple is helpful if you know you want to stay a part of the community and you want to invest in it. So I have a couple of NFTs where I'll buy 2 or 3 because one I want to keep forever and always, be in the community, and those other, 1 or 2, I'm just waiting to see when and if the ETH rises, and I'll resell them at the right time. Oh, Tara, please. Okay, gas fees. So gas fees are the bane of everyone's existence. Really quick recap what a gas fee is. It's the fee that you pay to mint or to verify something on the chain. So when you find the NFT you want to purchase, there will be a gas fee in addition to the price of that NFT. The gas fee will vary greatly. Last night I bought NFTs, the gas fee was $28. This morning I tried and it was $130. It really fluctuates just like Uber surge pricing based on the traffic of how many people are trying to verify things on the blockchain, because the miners, those nodes, are the ones setting the price. So if it's really busy, they demand more. If it's quieter, it's less. So Tara, please share the secret of Umbria to lower gas fees.
Yeah, so this isn't like, I'm not affiliated with Umbria. I haven't done like a full security check or anything. All I know is that it was referred to us by some other friends and it works. And I think how it was explained to me makes me understand why gas fees are charged in certain ways. And I don't know if this applies to mints, so don't quote me on that. However, I do know that if you are purchasing an NFT on OpenSea, that the NFT itself is on the Polygon blockchain. It's not on the Ethereum blockchain. That's an important thing to recognize, because OpenSea is denominated in Ethereum. And so which is one blockchain, and then Polygon is an offshoot of that blockchain. So if you're going to purchase an NFT that was built on the Polygon blockchain, what has to happen if you're buying that through OpenSea is that you effectively are purchasing in Ethereum, but ultimately it has to be converted into Matic, which is Polygon's currency effectively. So when OpenSea is charging you really high gas fees, when you're trying to buy something in Ethereum that actually was built on the Polygon blockchain, there is a way to do that. And that's by using what's called wrapped Ethereum instead of just straight Ethereum. And I know there's a lot of new words for a lot of people. It still sounds funny coming out of my mouth too. But basically, when Ethereum is used on the Ethereum blockchain, that makes sense, right? It exists as its own little ecosystem. If you want to use Ethereum outside of the Ethereum blockchain, though, you have to basically wrap it in a bubble to sort of like make the other blockchain think that it's compatible. That's sort of like how I've mentally materialized that. So you can use wrapped Ethereum to purchase like Polygon blockchain NFTs. The way that you can convert Ethereum into wrapped Ethereum is through this service called Umbria. And so instead of having to pay OpenSea, basically a transaction fee or this like gas fee to do that for you, you instead can send some Ethereum through Umbria. It will then show up in your Polygon mainnet wallet instead of your Ethereum mainnet wallet. And then OpenSea doesn't charge you gas fees because you've done that yourself. And to give you a sense of how much you can save, you can send like 2 ETH through Umbria for like a couple of dollars, whereas it would cost you, in order to like basically run that through OpenSea and them to do it for you, could cost you hundreds of dollars. So I know that was a lot, but do a little digging, try to make it make sense for yourself. But essentially, if you're trying to buy something with Ethereum that was built on the Polygon chain, there is a swap thing that has to happen, and either you can do it yourself through Umbria or you can pay OpenSea a lot of money to do it for you. So up to you.
No, so Tara, thank you. There are a lot of nuances.
I hope that wasn't more confusing.
No, like we'll get there. It's good to, I think, like, break the seal and then we can keep going deeper in. This is a journey, and every week so much is changing. And I think as you all hear these terms more, I know it took 10 times to understand how blockchain works and to hear it from 10 different people and to get 10 different examples. I think the standard definitions are one thing, but until you understand an actual end use that's relevant in your day-to-day life, it's not going to really connect. So keep talking about it. And I think the idea of running at this, and don't be afraid to say things like wrapped Ethereum. We can all practice saying it right now. Wrapped Ethereum, Polygon network. These are the words that will be flowing off, in conversations around the Christmas and holiday tables around the world. All right, we have a couple of minutes left. Who has a burning question that they've still been too afraid to say, but I promise you it'll help someone else? All right, so my next question.
Quick question.
Yes.
Can you talk about crypto wallets for a quick second?
Yes, great question. So when you get into the crypto space, the first thing you do is open a crypto exchange. That is very familiar. You're going to go to a Coinbase or a Kraken, Binance, and you're going to just give your email and create a password, and that will allow you to connect your bank account to the exchange so that you can purchase a cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Ethereum are the main 2 cryptocurrencies. So great, you've done that. You log in with your Michelle email. I log in with my password. It opens it up. I can buy those currencies whenever I like at the exchange at the exchange rate of the day. But I can't buy an NFT yet. A crypto wallet helps you buy an NFT. A crypto wallet also can protect your crypto assets. So let's say in the example of an NFT, you need a wallet when you go to OpenSea.com. You will download on your phone a Coinbase wallet or a MetaMask wallet. They're the two most popular ones. And it will generate a 12-word seed phrase. This seed phrase is so important. It's basically the code to find your Lego block. I sometimes describe blockchain as being pieces of Lego. They're all in a big tower being built. So when you build or open your crypto wallet, it's essentially putting one piece of Lego onto that block. And the only way to find that Lego block that is yours ever again is with that 12-word seed phrase. And it's words like hat, head, plank, barbecue. It's really simple words, but it's in an order that is random and very specific. So keep that seed phrase handy for yourself, but private so no one else can get it. I know it's impossible to think about. It's like saying, go find a hill no one has discovered, build a cave and bury it in there, but that's kind of what you have to do. So you've opened your crypto wallet now. You connect it to your exchange. They are still separate, okay? So that's actually really important to know, so that if either one ever gets hacked or is compromised, they are individual entities. They can be synced, but they require different passwords to get into. The wallet is where you will transfer money from your Coinbase.com account into your Coinbase wallet. So then you can use that wallet to buy NFTs on OpenSea, because OpenSea connects to your wallet, not your exchange, okay? Your wallet is also a really good safe place if you have other assets that you want to transfer into, just to keep them safe so that they're not sitting on the exchange. You might want to put some cryptocurrency into a wallet. You may have other NFTs you've purchased from other marketplaces, and you want to keep it all together in your wallet. Has that helped answer the wallet question, April?
Yes, thank you. That was great.
Okay. Just note with your wallet, make sure you activate like a thumbprint or code, so that if you lose your phone, nobody can just go into your wallet app without having to be authenticated first. Oh, and please never, 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 Discord is such a minefield. If anybody on Discord ever says, hey, sync up your wallet here so we can verify you, no, that's a scam. Never give you should never need to give your seed phrase to anyone or anything. It's just for you to find your Lego block. Can't stress that enough. People, good, smart people are constantly taken advantage of because the scamming is so sophisticated. Okay, I know we are at time. Please drop in the chat if there's any topic you would like to dive into next. We're going to try and squeeze in maybe one before the holidays, but if not, we'll do it the first week in January. With all of these great questions, I'm going to be posting these videos into a YouTube channel. I'm doing it. Thank you for the confidence from so many of you just to say go for it. I will be creating a couple of videos over the next few weeks with just smaller, shorter sound bites. What is blockchain? What's an NFT? How do you describe, Web3 to your grandmother? Next Thanksgiving, this Thanksgiving. Just some really easy sound bites so that you can understand the end use and how it might be useful to you, as well as some news stories that are coming up. In the meantime, connect, reach out. We're all in this together as we learn. Businesses are changing quickly. How we all interact with it is changing quickly. There's no one way or right way. Just make sure it's the safe way.